Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 4 of February 2025. The quick commerce in India is set to grow at an impressive rate of 75 to 100% year on year, significantly outpacing traditional retail, which is expected to grow at a much lower rate, says a report from Bernstein. The report indicated that quick commerce is advancing faster than other internet-based retail channels in India. By 2025, the sector is expected to further establish itself as a dominant force. The top 40 to 50 cities in India collectively account for a grocery market worth around USD 250 billion, and quick commerce is well positioned to capture a substantial share of this market. UAE-based Sharaf Group announced a Rs 5,000 crore investment in Kerala over the next 5 years, citing the state's conducive business environment and talented workforce. The investment will focus on 2 dry ports and create numerous job opportunities, further boosting the region's economic growth. The CBDT has issued a new circular incorporating amendments from the Finance No. 2 Act 2024, Finance No. 1 Act 2024 and Finance Act 2023 in respect to the deduction of TDS on salaries. The board also clarified that Circular No. 24/2022 remains applicable for financial year 24-25, where no changes were made regarding other salaries-related provisions. Salary increments in India's $250 billion IT services sector are projected to be moderate in fiscal year 2025, as companies navigate a complex landscape of global economic uncertainties, evolving skill demands, and the increasing adoption of artificial intelligence, according to experts. Industry experts predict an average wage increase of 4 to 8.5%, a notable step down from previous years, signaling a shift towards more pragmatic compensation strategies. Companies are being more conservative with their salary budgets, and many have even pushed their appraisal cycles beyond the usual April to June period, which has made salary revisions less predictable in the current scenario. Organizations are shifting to skill-based pay, leveraging Tier 2 hiring for cost efficiency. Instead of salary hikes, retention bonuses, ESOPs, and project-based incentives are being implemented as compensation strategies. In a bid to demonstrate its commitment to stakeholders, the Adani Group on Sunday, February 23rd, released its tax transparency reports for the financial year 23-24, disclosing a total tax contribution of Rs 581.04 billion. This marks a significant increase from Rs 466.10 billion in the previous year, reflecting the conglomerate's growing economic impact. The Adani Group has engaged an independent professional agency to verify the data, reinforcing its commitment to responsible corporate conduct. Schneider Electric plans to open 3 new manufacturing plants in India, located in Kolkata, Hyderabad, and Ahmednagar. The company's focus includes leveraging AI and digitization to drive growth in India's energy sector, with significant investments aimed at supporting India's digitization, sustainability, and infrastructure modernization efforts. The Tata and Bharti groups are finalizing a merger between their loss-making direct-to-home businesses, Tata Play and Airtel Digital TV respectively. This comes as Indian consumers are cutting the cord and migrating to digital platforms for video consumption and live streaming. The merger will take place through a share swap and help bump up Airtel's non-mobile revenues through convergence. Airtel will hold more than 50% in the combined entity. Tata Play, India's largest DTH provider, was originally Tata Sky and began as a joint venture with Rupert Murdoch's News Corp. The Walt Disney Company took over that stake when it acquired Murdoch's 21st Century Fox in 2019. Indian tax authorities are asking foreign private equity houses and their local arms to disclose the share of profits, better known as carry, that fund managers and employees receive when a fund outperforms, or agree to pay significantly higher fees to the advisory arms set up here. Overseas PE and venture capital funds, which are headquartered in New York, London, and other leading financial centers, typically pool their money or form investment vehicles as well as set up fund management entities in tax-friendly jurisdictions like Singapore and Mauritius. These offshore funds also have outfits in India which advise the fund managers and offer other services. IRDAI is working towards implementing major regulatory changes over the next 18 to 24 months, including a risk-based capital framework and Indian accounting standards. The regulator aims for a faster rollout while ensuring industry alignment. Initiatives like risk-based supervision and public listings for insurance companies are also in focus. The Adani Group is set to invest over Rs 1.1 lakh crore in projects spanning pumped storage, cement, mining, smart meters and thermal energy, creating over 1,20,000 jobs in Madhya Pradesh by 2030. Additionally, the group is discussing a further Rs 1 lakh crore in Greenfield Smart City, Airport and coal gasification project with the state government. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has issued important guidelines for candidates applying for the May 2025 CA exams. Aspiring chartered accountants must ensure their eligibility and complete the necessary formalities through ICAI self-service portal before submitting their exam applications. The National Company Law Tribunal, Bengaluru bench on Monday indicated the appointment of Shailendra Ajmera as resolution professional of debt-laden edtech firm Byju's. Ajmera will replace former RP Pankaj Srivatsava. Meanwhile, private equity firm Blackstone-backed Singapore Topco withdrew its petition against Akash Educational Services over proposed changes to the latter's Articles of Association. Akash, a subsidiary of Byju's, can now amend its Articles of Association, raise capital or restructure internally. This was initially opposed by Singapore Topco, which is a lender that holds 6.97% stake in Akash Education. The NCLT, in its last hearing, had asked all parties to file their reply with respect to the allegation of former RP Srivatsava not discharging his duties properly. The Income Tax Department is set to crack down on individuals and businesses that have failed to deduct and deposit TDS or TCS. Approximately 40,000 taxpayers from financial year 22-23 and financial year 23-24 are under scrutiny. This drive aims to penalize repeat offenders and correct significant discrepancies in tax deductions. The Central Board of Direct Taxes has prepared a 16-point plan to identify TDS defaults. Separately, the Data Analytics team has prepared an exhaustive list of such taxpayers for scrutiny. The Reserve Bank of India has decreased capital requirements for banks to boost liquidity and credit flow, specifically enhancing lending to NBFCs and MFIs. Risk weights on such loans were reduced, expected to lower borrowing costs and improve margins for institutions. This move aims to encourage prudent growth and address the slowdown in bank credit to NBFCs. The reduction in risk weights will free up about Rs 40,000 crore capital, which would mean banks can lend up to Rs 4 lakh crore to AAA rated companies. In November 2023, to dissuade banks from lending to NBFCs and microfinancers, RBI had raised the risk weight from 100% to 125%. The action was to restrict unsecured loans, which had risen 25% in October 2023 over the previous year. Bloom Hotels is planning to raise Rs 400 crore from private equity investors like General Atlantic and Worley Invest. The company aims to expand into emerging Tier 2 and 3 markets while maintaining a 40 to 50% annual growth rate. An internal round of Rs 200 crore is in progress, with possible external funding of Rs 100 to Rs 200 crore under consideration. SEBI has issued a consultation paper on expanding definition of qualified institutional buyers under SEBI ICDR Regulations 2018. SEBI proposes to include accredited investors in QIB's definition for the limited purpose of investments in angel funds. Further, it is also proposed to remove the limit of a maximum of 200 investors in an investment of angel fund. The public can submit their comments latest by 14th March 2025 via online web-based form. Hyderabad-based Control S data centers inaugurated a Rs 4,000 crore data center park in Chennai and said it is considering an initial public offering to fund its capex and expansion plans. The Chennai data center park includes two facilities, DC1 and DC2, with a total capacity of 72 megawatts. The project is expected to generate 500 direct and 9,000 indirect jobs. Fast-moving consumer goods majors such as Godrej Consumer, Britannia, and ITC are rolling out stock-ready vans to streamline stock replenishment in rural markets, significantly reducing turnaround times for retailers. The initiative is gaining momentum at a time when the demand in rural markets is seen to be improving. As a result, companies are now actively expanding their footprint in these regions. The World Bank has expressed strong confidence in India's economic growth, despite a slight slowdown. The lender encouraged global investors to invest in India, emphasizing on its robust growth projection of 7.2% for the upcoming fiscal year as projected by RBI for December 2024. Microfinance and two-wheeler loans are experiencing promising recovery, with microfinance loan quality improving and two-wheeler loan originations on the rise. Despite the growth, the two-wheeler sector faces asset quality concerns, particularly among mid-tier lenders. Loan quality has improved with fewer delinquencies, especially in the 31 to 180-day basket. As of December 2024, the sector serves 7.9 crore borrowers through 13.9 crore accounts, with the East and Northeast regions leading the market. Microfinance firms are strengthening internal controls and risk management to address the RBI's measures to reduce risks, including focusing on reducing over-indebtedness. Banks continue to be the largest funding source, contributing 61.3% of outstanding borrowings. Asian private equity firm PAG is considering options that may lead to a sale of its majority stake in Mumbai-listed Nuvama Wealth Management Limited. Blackstone Inc.-backed PAG is working with financial advisors on a strategic review of its more than 54% stake in the Indian wealth manager. Nuvama provides wealth, asset management, capital markets and advisory services, according to its website. Its clients include entrepreneurs, promoters, high and ultra-high net worth individuals, corporate and institutional investors. Bharti Airtel on Wednesday confirmed ongoing discussions with the Tata Group regarding a potential merger of their direct-to-home business. The deal is expected to be structured as a share swap, with Airtel acquiring a majority stake of around 52 to 55%. While Tata Place shareholders, including Tata Sons and Walt Disney, would retain 45 to 48% share in the combined entity. The Indian insurance industry is bracing for extended legal scrutiny from tax authorities after the Goods and Services Tax Adjudicating Authority upheld a tax demand of Rs 2,400 crore against HDFC Life Insurance. The ruling, stemming from allegations of wrongful claims on input tax credit related to agent commissions, could set a precedent that pushes the industry's total tax liability beyond rupees 5,500 crore. The Directorate General of GST Intelligence has been investigating nearly 30 insurance companies for allegedly misusing input tax credit. The board of Tata Capital, the financial services arm of Tata Sons, cleared an initial public offer and a rights issue, making it the second company from the Tata Group to launch an IPO within 2 years after Tata Technology was listed in November 2023. In a regulatory filing, Tata Capital said the IPO will issue equity shares of face value of Rs 10 each, and it will comprise a fresh issue of up to 230 million shares and an offer for sale of equity shares by its existing shareholders. Several conglomerates are planning to launch big-ticket IPOs in the new financial year beginning April 1st. Among the conglomerates are Reliance Industries, which is mulling over listing its telecom arm Jio, and the Adani Group, which is looking to list its airport business. LG Electronics, the Korean electronics giant, is also planning to raise up to $1.5 billion. SEBI has mandated all listed companies to follow industry standards formulated by the Industry Standards Forum for effective disclosure of material events or information as per Regulation 30 of LODR Regulations 2015. The Industry Standards Forum comprises of representatives from 3 industry associations, ASSOCHAM, CII and FICCI, under the aegis of stock exchanges. Stock exchanges are advised to bring this to the notice of listed entities and ensure compliance. SEBI has allowed the association of persons to open demat accounts in their name for holding securities such as units of mutual funds, corporate bonds and government securities in demat accounts. However, such demat accounts will not be used to subscribe or hold equity shares. Further, association of persons must be responsible for ensuring that it only subscribes to the financial instruments or securities that are permitted by statutes governing the constitution of association of persons. We can become the auditing powerhouse of the world, said Ajay Bhushan Pandey, chairperson of the National Financial Reporting Authority or NFRA, while discussing new paradigms in financial reporting and auditing in India. He emphasized the importance of auditing and the need for oversight of auditors in India's aspirations of becoming a Viksit Bharat. He said, in the last 2 years, the quality of audits has improved, and for that, I must appreciate the auditing firms. This is an encouraging sign. If you compare audits now to those conducted a few years ago, the standards have improved significantly. I must commend auditing firms. We are seeing vast improvement. Salary growth in the IT and IT-enabled services sectors is slowing due to automation, cost optimization and reduced hiring, according to the EY Future of Pay 2025 report. IT sector salary increments are anticipated to decline from 9.8% in 2024 to 9.6% in 2025, while IT-enabled services are expected to moderate from 9.2% to 9%. Meanwhile, global capability centers are projected to experience salary hikes of 10.2% in 2025, up from 10% in 2024. Further, the report said 6 in 10 Indian employers are exploring the use of artificial intelligence in employee rewards and compensation strategies over the next 3 years. Wipro plans to invest $200 million to its venture arm, Wipro Ventures, in its latest round of funding to accelerate the focus on early to mid-stage startups. This is the 4th round of investment raised by Wipro Ventures since its inception in 2015. This brings Wipro Ventures' total investment to $500 million and will be directed towards startups that align with Wipro's strategic priorities. Wipro Ventures will invest in enterprise software startups working in areas such as artificial intelligence, data and analytics, cybersecurity, and cloud infrastructure. The government urges lenders to strengthen credit evaluations and monitor micro loans for self-help groups or SHGs to avoid multiple loans. A unified business correspondent registry and unique IDs for SHG members are being planned. This move supports financial inclusion, rural enterprise development, and targets identified sectors more effectively, ensuring better fund utilization. India's Piramal Enterprises said in an exchange filing on Friday that it had received a tax demand of 15.02 billion rupees or nearly $172 million for the sale of its pharmaceutical business to Piramal Pharma in fiscal year 2021. Piramal Enterprises said it has solid grounds to challenge the unjustified demand. The company sold its pharmaceutical business and other related units to Piramal Pharma for 44.87 billion rupees in October 2020. A slump sale, which receives more preferential tax treatment, refers to the sale of all assets and liabilities of an undertaking without values being assigned to individual assets and liabilities. Such a sale must also not hinder the business operations of the transferred entity. An itemized sale, on the other hand, refers to assets and liabilities being sold with separate values assigned to each of them. Piramal Enterprises said it expects that the order would be set aside. The results of the Chartered Accountants Intermediate and Foundation examinations held in January 2025 are likely to be declared on Tuesday, the 4th March 2025, and the same can be accessed by candidates on the website icai.nic.in. Bank lending growth saw a significant slowdown in January, dropping to 11% year-on-year from 20% a year ago. However, loans to large industries and medium firms saw increases. Non-food credit, retail loans, and credit to agriculture also experienced slower growth. In contrast, loans against gold jewelry rose dramatically by 77% year-on-year. A US bankruptcy court has ruled against Byju's Alpha Inc. and its affiliates in a case involving the fraudulent transfer of $533 million. According to a press release issued by the lenders, the court found that the defendants orchestrated and executed a fraudulent scheme to misappropriate funds loaned to Byju's Alpha, a Delaware-based special-purpose financing vehicle established by Byju. Judge Dorsey confirmed that multiple transfer of funds from Byju's Alpha were fraudulent and that Riju Ravindran violated his fiduciary duties as director of Byju's Alpha. Damages will be determined at a later date. India and the European Union on Friday decided to conclude their much-awaited free trade agreement by the end of 2025 and finalized a blueprint for increased collaboration in broad range of areas such as trade, mobility, technology and investment. India's trade in goods with the EU was $137.41 billion in 23-24, with exports at $75.9 billion and imports at $61.4 billion. Trade in services in 2023 was estimated at $51.45 billion. The US and Ukraine failed to sign a critical minerals agreement after a Friday meeting between Donald Trump and Zelensky devolved into a fiery exchange, fracturing relations between the two countries. Trump took umbrage with Zelensky's doubts that the US president's efforts to broker a deal with Russia would lead to lasting peace. The Ukrainian leader departed the White House following the public spat, and a planned signing ceremony and press conference were cancelled. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.